Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. A draw that, I'll be honest, feels a bit like a win, that, doesn't it?
I think you're a bit giddier than I am with it. I'm very, very happy. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with the result, but I wouldn't say it feels like a win. I'm happy, but no, it's not a win because we could have won.
Don't feel like a win. Feels like a sort of an extra juicy draw, though. Would you accept that?
Feels like a real good, well-earned point.
Yes. Which is something United have not done a single time this season. It's our first draw, but more importantly, it's our first, clean sheet at Anfield in years. And you were saying before we were just chatting, the first time United have defended and sat back and not conceded a goal pretty much all season. Usually if we sit back, there's goals shipping in left, right and centre. Were you pleased with that side of things? The fact that we've gone to Anfield and not conceded? Yeah,
the one of the major criticisms I've had for Ten Hag is that we haven't seen him ever go and get a result by playing on the back foot ever. It's just never happened. We've been steamrolled by being on the back foot, but we've never actually gone and got a result. And even though people are like, well, we still didn't win. No, we didn't. But I think we were set up to hit them on the break, and I think with a little bit of better finishing, we might. There was a couple of final balls not quite there, which could have caused Liverpool some problems. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with going there and getting a point because I think we all just feared the worst, didn't we, today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't usually predict United to lose. On the preview, I predicted us to lose. Before the game, I did. Like, everything we've seen in the build-up this week was how many are Liverpool going to win by. And even so, I think after the game, Roy Keane having a bit of a go at Virgil van Dijk for a bit of arrogance in his post-match interview, talking about, well, only one team came here to win, and, you know, basically saying United will be dead happy with the draw and we're disappointed, and that means we're better than them. But everyone thought United were going to lose.
At the end of the day, yeah, we are happy with a point. People forget this, right? There is a different, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a different standard expected at home and away. Now, I expect us to try and beat Liverpool at home. I expect probably disappointed as well. But I won't take a 0-0 at home to Liverpool. Yeah. Like, I think that's the difference. Away from home, I'm happy to tell you that is a good result. 0-0 at home is a good result for Liverpool, not us. So I think, it sounds like sour grapes, and I love Roy Keane for that, to be honest, as well, because, people have been fawning over this lot for too long, and he said he needs to remember that they've only won the title once in 30 years. It's once in 33 years, if you wanted to get technical, like. But yeah, about time. You know, we've not seen this from an Erik Ten Hag United. Why did we see it today? Well, I think seeing Amrabat and Mainoo sitting in front of the back four. Interesting that I did say this in my preview, and I said it on a couple of videos towards the back end of last week. And when you were looking at what we were likely to play, and it did appear like Shaw, Varane, Evans were probably going to feature because of just lack of options. And then it looked like it was going to be Amrabat and Mainoo that started, which we saw for the first time. Well, them guys with Onana gives you quite a decent base to play out from, actually. And then obviously the worst possible place that you could go and like beta test that would be Anfield, obviously. So we did see United trying to play out early in the game, getting a little bit stifled. Not a lot of options to go direct to, but I think, you know, that's something you could probably criticise Ten Hag fairly for and say, actually, just stick McTominay and Højlund on one guy and try and win a second ball, because that's way more effective, I would imagine, than trying to play out against this press, which is one of the best in the world.
Just on that partnership with Mainoo and Amrabat, I thought we saw today, for the first time in a while, a little bit of composure on the ball, a bit more energy, and people holding their position better. Do you think that can be a partnership going forward? Now we've seen it, almost like you said before, out of necessity. Do you think that will be something going forward?
I hope so. He obviously has some sort of a soft spot for McTominay, hence giving him the armband, even though Varane was in the squad and is supposedly the vice captain of the team, who I thought actually was sensational today. I hope we see that partnership more. I still don't think we've seen Amrabat get up to top speed yet. I still thought he looked a tiny bit off the pace today. But I do like his bravery on the ball. I do like his willingness to get on the ball. I thought he'd give it away a fair bit today. Not quite as much as McTominay, but he did give it away a bit. And that's actually one of the best attributes about Mainoo is he just never loses the ball. You know, he never loses the ball, and he never looks like he might either. Like he's in such control of everything. And you're right, composure's the word. And composure's what this United side has lacked for me. From that Wolves game, first game of the season, and it was literally 11-a-side basketball, and you go, right, we need to calm this game down. And I think having Mainoo and Amrabat in the centre of the park, it probably is a little bit more defensive than you would want, but I would actually accept that for the moment and just say, well, let's be a little bit more defensive, and let's try and build our way into games rather than losing a game in the first 5 or 10 minutes. What that means for McTominay going forward, I don't know, because like you said, he clearly favours him. Yeah. He clearly rates him. But he's not, and nor should he play ahead of Bruno.
It's a weird one with McTominay, isn't it? Because on the one hand, like you just said, he was wearing the captain's armband today. And on the other hand, he was happy to sell him in the summer. And last season, he was not first choice whatsoever. You know, it was Bruno, Ericsson and Casemiro. And then sometimes you'd bring Fred in as a sub. Like, it's weird. Other than scoring a couple of goals, without seemingly improving, McTominay's gone from being outcast and you can go to starts every week, captain's armband. What's going on there?
Happens. Ericsson's not fit. Casemiro's not fit. Amrabat hasn't been fit. Mainoo hasn't been fit. Like, it's out of necessity he's had to play some games.
Yeah.
You know, you think it's bad for Scott McTominay nearly getting sold and this, that and the other. At least he's played. Donny van der Beek's still looking at photos of him and Ten Hag from back when he won Eredivisie and being like, remember that day?
Sliding him under Ten Hag's door in his office. Yeah. Little Polaroids of the trophy under the door. Don't forget me. Moving up the pitch a little bit, another game where Højlund, barely had a sniff. He had the one chance. There was two big chances for United. One was Højlund, one was Garnacho in the final third. Højlund managed to get a shot away. Garnacho allowed Alexander-Arnold to recover. You might say he recovered well. Do you think United could have won this game? And tactically, do you think maybe we allowed more shots than we'd like, but we sort of saw what Ten Hag wanted to do? Do you think that was the plan, what we saw unfold today?
I'm just having a quick check of how many shots they actually had. So they had 34 shots. I don't reckon anywhere at all we said, let them have 34 shots.
It's a lot of shots.
It'll be fine. That's a lot of shots. They had 8 on target. Their XG was 2.35. They should have scored, right? They absolutely should have scored. I don't think Onana's going to get a lot of credit for any of the saves. They were all a little bit at him, but he still had to make them. 34 shots. That's crazy. That's a crazy number of shots. And I would argue that we are still conceding too many shots. I argue that we still stand off a little bit as people are taking shots and allow them to shoot, which I don't know why we do that. But I think we got very lucky with Liverpool's finishing. But I think we were a little bit unlucky ourselves. Now, we didn't have a lot of shots. On target. It says we had one, and that would be the one Højlund put right at Alisson. Yeah. So it'd probably be unfair to go, well, he definitely should have scored that. I think he definitely could have scored that. I wouldn't say definitely should have scored that, but could have scored that. And it'd been nice if he did. It would have been sensational if he did. We didn't have a lot. There was a little bit of final ball missing. Anthony seemed like he had a couple of opportunities where someone was available and he didn't quite find that final ball. But yeah, look, the entire forward line has been substandard throughout the entire season. And you're right, Højlund, we all seen that graph, I'm sure, and if you've not, go find it because it's out there. Højlund is the least fed striker in the league. He's getting, is it less than a third of the passes that Heung-min Son's getting? So, the guy's starving.
Yeah.
Someone needs to feed him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just moving and looking forward a little bit, this was almost, I don't want to say it would have been sacked because I know we've got this whole thing with Ratcliffe and who knows what's going on there, but a battering today could have been like the sort of point of no return for Ten Hag for a lot of fans, where you go, no matter what happens between now and the end of the season, it's going to be someone else for the start of next year. Do you still hold hope for Ten Hag? Do you even entertain the sacking conversation, or do you think, let's just focus on next week? What do you think this game does for Ten Hag's sort of security at United?
Well, I think it answered a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Like, because one of the things that always get flung at people, and I hate this stereotype, that he's lost the dressing room. Well, evidently hasn't, because they don't put in the sort of fight that they've just had. It was very, very easy for them to roll over and die. And actually, when we got beat off Liverpool last year, wasn't in that the middle of like our best run in a long time?
Yeah.
It feels like it was. I don't know if I can't be. I don't know when it was, but it felt like it was in the middle of everything was going swimming, and then we just got absolutely smacked about by Liverpool, and then like the following week we got smacked up by City. So. Or if that's not right, it felt like that's what it was.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment, you could have been easily writing away in your shit local newspaper that used to be really good, not in a press conference because you're not allowed, but you could have been sitting there writing about how he's lost the dressing room, maybe 50% of the dressing room. You could have wrote something like that. That just, not true. And there's people that will believe it because the performances on the pitch replicate that. However, I think performances like what we've just seen today are a shot across the bows, maybe from the players, at that sort of narrative.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can go and like you could easily have put in 2% less effort today and lost 4-0.
Yeah.
Easily. Like, I thought the lads battled for that. No doubt about it whatsoever. And I think, even Hannibal and Palestri come on really trying to make an effort to show that they want to be part of something here. So I agree with you that a lot of fans probably would have turned if that had gone a different way. I think that would have been, a bridge too far for some. With West Ham and Villa, if they're not positive results, or at least one positive result, then it still could be for others. We are 7th or something in the league. It's still not good enough.
Yep.
But I think the mitigation has to be taken into account. It's not an excuse. It's a mitigation. People go, he signed 15 players. Okay, cool. Of the 15 players that we've signed, how many are actually available for him to select? We can't select Martinez, probably our best defender. Can't select Casemiro or Ericsson or Bruno, which was our midfield three last year. He's got Højlund, who probably needed to be eased into English football a little bit easier than there's your shirt, off you fucking pop, don't fuck it up. You've got not a single winger at the club in form. Like you've got all sorts of one completely fucking AWOL. There's so many problems, and some might have been his doing, some might have been exacerbated by him. That's fine if you've got that opinion, but the point I'm making is he just doesn't have the personnel available to him to be putting together consistent wins and consistent runs. I expect more from the players, and I do expect more from Ten Hag. And today I thought we did see a side of him and a pragmatism to him that we haven't yet seen.
Yeah, I think it's good to see. Right, Steve, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for coming on. Manchester United, as Steve said there, fought very, very hard for a 0-0 draw at Anfield. A better result than we've had there in quite some time. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you in a bit.